Bro, up to you. Where do you want to start last night's debacle?
What's up, Joe B?
Hi, Teak. How you doing, man? Where do I want to start
about
from
the same
last
as
night?
you.
I'll start with the baseball team because I can't be upset with the Mets. I mean, it is what it is. They gave us an outstanding year. Nobody saw this year coming. What can I say? I cannot be upset with them. And, I look at the management team that we have right now with Stevie and with Stearns, who I was completely wrong about, and Carlos Mendoza. And, all I can hope is that it's going to be sustained winning now. Make the big bid for Soto. Don't get outbid there. I want Pete back. Pete's got to be a Met. Get it done. Find a way to do it with Pete. I'd like to see Sean Manaea come back. I'd like to see Severino come back as well. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I do feel confident. We got a budding superstar, Mark Vientos. David Peterson emerged this year as a top pitcher for us. So many different things. Lindor became, moved into the pantheon of the great Mets of all time. I just can't be upset. Alvarez finally started hitting. It was a little too late. But the bottom line is they didn't get the big hit enough. I mean, you can talk about all the runs the Dodgers scored and all the walks the Mets pitchers gave them and all of that. They had the bases loaded so many times in this series. Twice last night, they couldn't get the big hit. You go back to Game 4, they had the bases loaded, no out, down 5. They couldn't score a run. To me, it really comes down to that. But if you're a Met fan today, you can't be upset with what the Mets gave you this year. I understand they didn't win it all. I get it. They didn't get to the World Series. This was one of the best years we ever had as Met fans.
You've said in the past, it's not a great season if you don't win it all.
Right.
So what is this season? Just a fun season? Like, how would you define the 2024
It's a very good season. It's better than most. I mean, nobody saw this coming. We didn't have any expectations with this team. And to come back from the dead like they did to, Game 6 of the championship series, it's a pretty damn good year. I mean, how else do you say it? I don't. We had so many moments. I mean, the home run by Lindor in Atlanta, the home run by Pete in Milwaukee, the grand slam by Lindor against the Phillies. So many moments. I mean, even Game 5 at Citi Field. Raucous Citi Field, and not being eliminated at home for the first time in the last 5 times they've been eliminated in the playoffs. So all of that. I can't be upset. We're on the right track. Like I said, I think we got the right management team in here, and let's go. Let me see sustained success now going forward with this franchise.
So they have a lot of questions this offseason, but one guy who's been talked about all year is Pete. And you and I were lockstep. They got to keep Pete Alonso. What the hell are we doing?
I still want him.
Did you ever kind of, at any point, especially before the home run against the Brewers and Devin Williams, was there ever any moment where you're like, you know what, this guy can't handle the big spot. Just move on from him?
I mean, I was very disappointed. I mean, I would, you get tired of him looking at fastballs down the middle and swinging at breaking balls 30 feet off the plate. I mean, there was a lot of that this year, but he's our guy, bro. He's our guy. He's a homegrown Met. He hit 53 home runs his rookie year. He set the record there. He's going to be the all-time Met home run leader. He's going to hit somewhere probably between 400 and 500, if not more, home runs in his career. And I want him back. I think he's played very good defensively for the most part. He had that little kind of weird flip last night, but I'm not getting crazy about that. I think how many times have we seen him dig balls out of the dirt and stuff to save guys from errors? I want Pete back. There's no question about it.
Right, Joe. I think the biggest thing, my biggest takeaway from a on the field standpoint, was just David Stearns' acumen. It's now
you're right.
Now you have nothing but to trust him. Because of, the Winker fine, the Iglesias fine, and everybody, all these one-year deals.
Tyrone Taylor, 100%. Harrison Bader, Manaea, like I said, Severino. We go right on down the line. I mean, and obviously the manager.
Right.
Every move that Stearns made turned out to work. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let's not also forget the Brett Beatty, the Vientos conversation.
Of course.
Right?
Of
we
course.
thought Vientos was never going to get a shot.
Right.
Ultimately, he did. But
he's probably their best hitter, to be honest.
Without a doubt. But there needs to be, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, like a more aggressive approach to go get big-time stars in free agency. Do you think he'll do that? It was not his MO, per se? I mean, he did.
Well, I think it's up to Stevie's got to go make the bid for Soto. I'm sorry. I mean, look, I think Soto's going to stay with the Yankees. I mean, you asked me how I think it'll go. I think they will. But you can't be outbid if you're Steve Cohen. You got to make the bid for the number one free agent. Go get him. You know, show him the money. And if he doesn't want to come here, well, he wants to play for the Yankees, okay, so be it. But Steve Cohen's got to show Soto the money. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know, you look at all these big-name guys that have come to town over the last few years. They all have something in common, whether it's Max Scherzer or it's Aaron Rodgers or it's Kevin Durant. They come here and they're past their prime.
Yep.
Juan Soto is in his prime.
Oh, God, he's 25.
I mean, that's the biggest difference on acquiring a guy like Soto and all the other mercenaries that have come in over the years. Like, the best is yet to come with Juan Soto, while with these other guys, we saw the best elsewhere.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. And I'm confident Cohen's going to do it. I mean, I'm very confident that he's going to make a big bid for Soto because he wants to win. And we're close. I mean, let's be honest. This team is close. So let's get it done. Let's go. Let's go, Stevie.
All right, let's get to the Jets.
What a disgrace.
Where do you want to start with that debacle last night?
Well, I mean, look, where do I want to start? I mean, they got a 15-6 lead in this game, okay? Rodgers throws this horrible pass. We're in control of the game. He throws this horrible pick into triple coverage. Where the hell is he throwing the ball? They get the touchdown 15-13. All right, they fall behind 16-15. And then Garrett Wilson, I don't want to hear about Garrett Wilson anymore. You want to be a big-time receiver in this league. You can't do what you did. Catch the damn ball. The guy brings it to the 1-yard line, they score. All right, they're still in the game, and then Zerline's got to go. That's it. I'm done. Zerline's done. I don't care that they blocked the field goal. I don't want to see this guy anymore. You got to get a new kicker. He's finished. It's in his head. He's missed 5 field goals already this year. Get him the hell out of there. And then and here's what really got me, bro. Once he missed that field goal, they quit after that. And I'm telling you right now, this defense stinks. I know the secondary's all banged up. Everybody's hurt. Carter's hurt. Reed's hurt. Clark is hurt. Sauce is the most overrated corner in the game. Let's start with that. Their defensive line is brutal. Solomon Thomas, Michael Clemens, Kinlaw, they all stink, every freaking one of them. You can bring Reddick in here, and you can tell him he's going to be this great pass rusher. We'll see what he turns out to be. But right now, this defense isn't any good. And they quit. And I'm telling you this, too. And I'm concerned. It's only 2 games. This coach looks like he's way over his head.
Well, they got worse.
Right.
He looks like it's hard, deer in the headlights.
It's hard to fault him, Joe, because he didn't know he was.
No, I'm not killing him.
I know. I'm just saying.
But he does.
You're absolutely right. But how the hell is he supposed to go be a head coach after being a defensive coordinator basically his whole career?
Yeah.
He's a former player, so he knows a little bit of how it works from a head coaching standpoint, just from being head coached in his previous, professional life. But talk about putting a guy in a terrible spot, a terrible situation, and not just saying make these decisions about this guy and this your quarterback coach versus your offensive coordinator and blah blah blah. And but go motivate this team despite being 2-4 coming into this weekend. Right?
Yeah.
It was an impossible spot. I don't know why they expected like this sudden change to happen just because you fired Robert Saleh.
Yeah. No, he looks like a deer in the headlights. The only thing I'll give him is that after the game, he was ticked off, and Saleh never seemed ticked off after a game.
No, he's emotional. Ulbrich is emotional.
Yeah.
And he should be.
What else can I say? There was sailing in this game, Teak. Mm-hmm. What is Rodgers doing throwing that ball over to me? And I understand Rodgers, he's 40 years old. He's not the same guy anymore. But he's still better than most quarterbacks in the NFL.
I think, and he'll go look at this and he'll realize, because I knew when I watched this earlier, I was like, there's an easy throw he should have made. So it's 2nd and 4. It's not like it's 3rd and 8.
Right.
And you got to make this, this deep dig over the middle of the field, 15 yards downfield. Breece Hall is coming underneath. He's running this under route, and there's nobody on him. Chunk it down to him.
Yeah.
Get 8 yards. Maybe he breaks his tackle.
And also because
20 yards.
Because of the time left in the first half, what you can't do is turn the ball over.
Especially not in negative field position.
Right.
On the negative side of the 40.
100%.
So it was a terrible mistake, and he's made a bunch of them. Last week, the throw to Mike Williams. I know he tried to over-explain it about the red line and all that stuff, but it was a terrible throw.
Yeah.
And so as much as we want to talk about Ulbrich and the talent and blah blah blah, your quarterback's got to play better. He's got to play like
no doubt.
He's the Aaron Rodgers that everybody expected him to be.
And the offensive line, I thought, protected him pretty well last night. I can't even say that it was that because he wasn't getting beat up as he has in the last few games. That wasn't the case last night. But one thing, they can't run the ball. I mean, let's be honest about this. Their running game is nowhere.
Right.
I mean, how many times do I have to see Breece Hall get hit for 4-yard loss in the backfield? I mean, they got no running game at all.
Yeah, he's good.
Now.
He's good in the screens and checking down once he gets in space. But if your run game is going to be that bad, you got to put Braylon Allen in because he's just a bigger back.
Yeah,
At least he has a chance of breaking a tackle in the backfield.
Right. And the other thing, too, Vera Tucker got hurt again. How about this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, he's always hurt.
Always.
And it was a shame to see this kid Newman go down. I hope he's all right. I haven't heard anything about him.
He flew back with the team, so that's definitely a good sign. But, yeah, it was a very scary injury. Just to go back to the coach. Look, I was never a huge fan of Robert Saleh. Obviously, you soured on Robert Saleh. But we have seen over the last 2 weeks why it is a panic move, and it never works out, to fire your head coach in the middle of the season. Woody Johnson knows nothing about football. Like, if you told me Joe Douglas made this decision, I'd feel a little bit better. This was an owner who had no patience and said, let me try something. They've gotten worse.
Yeah.
Their defense has been worse since they made this move.
Well, because he's divided. He's the coordinator.
Well, that's a part of the decision.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it before we knew who was going to be the interim. Let the special teams coach be the head coach, especially if it's an interim. Now, look, I know it's because they like Jeff Ulbrich and they think he can be a leader of men and change the culture and all these other things, but he has a day job right now, and that's to be the defensive coordinator of at least previously, one of the top defenses in the NFL.
And it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave up touchdowns and scoring drives on like 5 straight drives in the second half of this game.
They made Russell Wilson look like it was 2013 again last night. Yeah, I really did.
Right.
I mean, and I got to say about this guy too. Quinnen Williams is turning into Muhammad Wilkerson. I mean, let's be honest about it. Can this guy make a freaking play? I'm tired of hearing how great. Oh, he's double teamed. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. You know what? He's Muhammad Wilkerson right now. He got paid. And he's been a complete stiff.
Well,
that's how I feel.
They got a lot of guys who have individual talent. Quinnen Williams, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner. And they've all to a T underperformed this season.
Every one of them. Every one of them.
And that's a big part of where they are right now. So they bring in Devontae Adams, great. Son Reddick decided to show up, fantastic. But things aren't getting better, and it's deeply concerning.
Very concerning. And I don't know where we go from here, bro. I mean, this has a chance to be one of the all-time worst years they ever had. I mean, what if they go 5 and whatever it is, 5 and 12, 6 and 11, something like that, okay, with this quarterback? Everybody's gone. It's a complete – everybody's gone at the end of the year. Douglas, the whole coaching staff. I don't know if Rodgers would come back or not. But, I mean, where are we going?
Well, why would you want them back? If they win 6 or 7 games, what's the point?
What's the point? And we got to draft a young quarterback. And look, to me, you know how I feel. If they completely crap out now, which I mean, why wouldn't I think that's going to happen? I'd love to see Rex back here. You know that. I would. No, I would. I definitely would get the band back. Give me Rex and Tannenbaum back. They got to do something, and you cannot. If you get a new coach next year, and I know we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, there's still 10 games to play, but still, I mean, I'm already there thinking this. You can't bring me some guy who's some coordinator who's never coached before. I'm sorry. I can't deal with that.
Well, not if Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback.
No,
that's not unless you're just resetting it all. Just like redoing it and saying, all right, we're going to be not bad, but just we're not going to be expected to be a playoff team or a Super Bowl team. That's the only way you go get one of those young coordinators.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, it's 56 years. They've been to the Super Bowl. It'll probably be another 56 till they get there again. Evan will be 70 years old, still waiting. I'll be long dead. Evan will still be waiting for that bowl. You know what I'm saying, bro? You'll still be waiting.
And a year like this makes you feel even further away. Because everything you're describing, if this season ends at 5 and 12, 6 and 11, they're going to have no other choice to blow it up. Now, the thing I hold out hope for is despite being 2 and 5, they play the lousy Patriots next week.
Okay, well, they better beat them.
They better beat them. And you look at the schedule, there are games on the schedule they can win. I'd say they should win, but I bet every team's looking at the Jets thinking the same thing.
Well, here's the problem. I mean, even if you win in Foxborough next week, then because of this absurd schedule they have, you got to turn around and play a very good Texan team on Halloween night. That should be a rip-roarer on Halloween freaking night. I mean, where are they going from you? I mean, you say soft spot. Am I confident they're going to go into Arizona and beat the Cardinals?
No. I'm not confident they'll beat any of these teams, but these are at least beatable teams. These are teams that are not as good as the Buffalo Bills or the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion.
Right.
But doesn't mean they're actually going to beat them.
Right. Look, to me, there's two really great teams, maybe three in the league. Obviously, Kansas City. The Lions, to me, are the next best team in the league.
Yep.
And then probably Baltimore.
Well, it's funny.
Right? I mean, I know how you feel, Teak. Those are the teams in my mind.
Yeah, I got to put Minnesota up there. I mean, they got beat by a really good Minnesota.
The
Lions squad.
Yep.
I want to agree with you on the Kansas City Chiefs because they're 6-0, but something's wrong with Pat Mahomes. Maybe it's because he just doesn't have receiving talent right now. Maybe. He's got more interceptions than he does touchdowns at this point.
Crazy.
Yeah, but he's 6-0 and he ran for. He had a run yesterday in that game.
He mushed that DB.
I mean, you got to be kidding me!
I know.
You're right. A 33-yard run that set up a touchdown.
Right.
He's put moves on the guy.
Right, and then he ran over the dude in the end zone. But so here's why. Here's why I agree with you on Mahomes. Just for a second, Joe.
Go ahead.
A guy like that is going to find a way to win.
No question.
You know what I mean? It's
no
not
question.
If he can't get it done through the air, the pass game isn't working because the talent's just not there. Travis Kelce's getting old. Whatever you want to say, he finds a way. And Pat Mahomes is that X factor quarterback. We always talk about these. Mm-hmm. Oh, this guy's an X factor. There's not really that many X factor players. Pat Mahomes is one of them for sure. Because even despite bad statistics, he still finds ways to win games.
No question. They got a very good defense. Their defense doesn't get the credit that it deserves. Spagnuolo is one of the all-time great defensive coordinators. They are a tremendous defensive football team led by Chris Jones. Those guys, Karl Loftus, I mean, all those guys, they are a very, very good defense.
Very well coached, like you said,
doubt.
Spags, Andy Reid.
Yep.
And look, you say Pat Mahomes finds ways to win so far, and all I care about and all you care about is his Jet tenure. I could give a rat's ass about Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. So far, all he does is find ways to lose. Mm. That's all he's done for us.
And, for all the aggravation Brett Favre gave us when the 1 year he was here, I mean, say whatever you want. We were 8-3 with this guy until he got hurt.
Won. Yeah.
Right. Until he got hurt. Once he got hurt, that we went downhill. We blew it. We finished 9-7, didn't make the playoffs. But we were playing like a top team. Yeah. This guy he's been terrible. Let's be real.
He's been a disaster. Yep. He really has. He's been worse than Brett Favre. Now, hopefully, he'll do the opposite of Brett. Like you said, Brett got off to an 8-3 start, finished horribly. Hopefully, and all you can do is cross your fingers here, is that Aaron Rodgers finishes strong and they save this season. But right now, it's tough to imagine good things happening for the Jets.
You got to get this kicker out of here, Teak. I mean, look, I know they brought 3 guys in here and they stuck with Zerline. You can't stick with him anymore. I mean, I have no confidence anymore, and I think his confidence is shot.
Well, it was shot because of the wind, right? Last weekend, and then now this week he's trying to drive the ball, but because he's driving the ball, it's only getting 7 feet off the ground as it crosses the line of scrimmage, so it's easy to block. Right? He's in his mind right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I mean, they look like they quit. After he missed that field goal, I thought they quit after that. I got to tell you.
Certainly felt that way.
Very scary to say, but I and I'm very worried about Ulbrich. He looks like he's a deer in the headlights.
Right now, that's the way it looks. Yankees, Dodgers, who do you think's going to win?
Who do I think is going to win? I hope nobody wins. I hope for your sake that if the Yankees win, that you do not have to go do this parade. I mean, you don't deserve to have to do it. You had to do a Yankee parade. You had to, we were there in 2009 for the Yankees. We were there twice for the Giants. Please, Mr. Oliveira, Mr. Ryan Hurley, do not let my guy here have to let BT and Sal do the damn parade. Okay, there's no way you should be this. Look. It's the lesser of two evils. I can't stand it. I mean, the Dodgers, to me, my hatred for the Dodgers is above and beyond, okay? I can't stand them. I can't, my whole feeling about California, L.A., and all of it going on there. We won't get into the reasons why, but you know why. I can't freaking stand it. I hate the Dodgers. I hate Ohtani. I hate everything about them. So with that said, It pains me, and I'm going to pay very little attention to this World Series. Okay, thank God I'm only on Saturday. I don't have to watch every pitch of every freaking game in this series. Okay, but I will say that let the Yankees win. Let the Yankees win.
Let the Yankees win. And by the way,
kind of you.
Here's why.
No, but I mean, I don't want to see the Yankees win.
Hey, we'll take it.
But here's why, Joe, if you're thinking about yourself as a Met fan, here's why you're probably right. So after the Yankees won Game 5, I watched all the celebrations. At that point, the Mets hadn't been eliminated yet, and I was consuming everything. And I thought Hal Steinbrenner's answer to, hey, Hal, what'd you think when Juan Soto had that at-bat was fascinating because it looked like his brain was calculating the money of how much it's going to cost. Right. And you wonder if the Yankees win the World Series, if Hal would actually be less likely to give him $700 million.
Hey, look, if that means Soto's going to be gone and Stevie's going to get him, then let him win. Sure.
There you go.
Let's go.
Joe,
just don't make my boy go to the parade here, will you?
Don't worry about it. I think I'll be all right.
These damn parade. You going to the Liberty Parade? I'm sure they're going to have a parade.
There is. Thursday at 10 a.m. The New York Liberty Parade's taking place.
Is that right? That's great.
Now, is BT and Sal going to be there for that, too?
I got to find out from management if we're sending them over for the Liberty Parade. I'll find out. I'll try to get the information for our audience.
Please.
Thank you, Joe. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Take care.
See you, Joe.
The great Joe Benigno, and he's right.